Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I have a small mid-year declutter of some palettes. If you've seen the video about palettes that are on my chopping block, I talked about some palettes that I wasn't really sure if I wanted to keep them. So I'm gonna share with you the palette that I'm either gonna declutter, depot, or destroy. Basically. Were these all in my chopping block video? I think they were, with some addition to that, I think. I'm not even really sure anymore, but I'm just gonna go through them. If you're curious, stay here. So I'm gonna start with, let's just start with the brands. These are in no particular order. First up is the I Heart Revolution palette. This one I bought because I love e.l.f. This is what it looks like. You can see I've gotten a lot of use out of this. I've hit a lot of pans. I finished a shadow. How many pans are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 25. So that's pretty good. And an empty. So I have gotten my use out of this. It's Revolution, and the quality of Revolution just isn't that amazing. I used to love my Revolution palettes, but that was before I got some other brands in my collection that are just better. And the thing is, within this palette, there's some shadows that are very nice, but there's also shadows that just don't work at all. So I'm gonna let this one go. I did no pan left behind on this. I've used every shadow out of this palette for one last time, and it's time to let it go. I don't think I will be taking any of these shadows out. There's nothing really that's super special, so I'm just gonna let this one go. And then just to stay in the Revolution category, this one pains my heart, honestly, because I was so excited for this collection. But this is just a reminder for myself to not buy any Revolution, no matter what collection, packaging, no matter how cute it looks. I just shouldn't buy it. And it is the Shrek X Revolution collection. I've got this ginormous palette with 30 eyeshadows, and I've gotten some pans, so I did use it here and there. Again, I completed no pan left behind on this, but it's the same story as the e.l.f. palette. Some shadows in this palette are good, some are just straight up shit. So I don't use this, which pains my heart. And I also have the 4 mini palettes that they did for some characters. So we have Lord of Farquaad, Puss in Boots, Fairy Godmother, and Donkey. And again, I've gotten quite a good use out of some of these. This is the Lord of Farquaad palette. As you can see, I've hit 5 pans. This was a Project Level Up palette. I just did not love these shadows as much, so I'm gonna have to let that one go. This is the Puss in Boots palette. I thought this was going to be my favorite. This is my least used palette. It's just not that good. This is the Fairy Godmother one. Again, got quite a good use out of this one. This also was a Level Up palette at one point. And this surprisingly turned out to be my favorite color story, which when I purchased it, I was like, that's not really the best color story for me, but it was my favorite. And then this is the Donkey version. Again, barely any use on this. The shimmers just either don't work at all, or they're just not special. The mattes are colors that I have in my collection over and over in better quality and formula. So it pains my heart because I love Shrek, and I love the packaging, but the shadows are just not it. So I'm gonna let them go. Then this one is gonna be no surprise for anyone, let's be real. The Lidl Cosmetics 1-Up palette. I've talked about this so many times on my channel. I love this color story, I love this packaging, but the shadows are just not it. I had expected so much more for this. This was quite expensive, and I've heard so many good stories about Lidl's shadows and their formula and their duochromes and whatnot. I don't know where people get those shadows, but these are not great. These are absolutely not great. The mattes are super dry, so gritty. The shimmers are just okay. They're nothing special at all. So I'm gonna let this one go. Someone did mention in the comments to maybe take these shadows out and put shadows in that I do love, because the packaging is just very cute, and I might do that. You can take these shadows out. The normal Lidl Cosmetics shadows that you buy in singles are bigger than these ones, so it's not an option to buy separate Lidl singles to put in here, which honestly I didn't really want to do anyway, because I just don't believe in the Lidl Cosmetics quality at all. So I think I'm gonna take these out and see if maybe I want to depot some other shadows into this packaging that I do love. And if I do that, I will probably film it. So there's that. I also have here the Milani Gilded Terra palette that I'm gonna declutter. Now these shadows I think are about the same size as the one from the 1-Up palette that I just showed you. So maybe I could take some of these out that I like and put them in that palette. There's not a lot of them that I really like, so I don't know how that's gonna go. Maybe I'll just let this palette go as a whole. But this just, I have been eyeing this palette for a while, and I really love this color story, but again the quality is just not amazing. I have many more shadows in the same tones that I love the quality of much more, so this one can go as well. Then there is the Beauty Bay Nikkie Tutorials palette. This is just such annoying packaging. It is so bulky, and the color story makes no sense at all. There's some shadows in here that I really enjoy, so I was thinking about depotting them. And I've heard some people say that depotting Beauty Bay shadows is a crime. So I think I will just crush up the shadows that I want and put them in different pans. But again, if I'm gonna do that, I will film it. So maybe some of these shadows will find their way back into this packaging. Who knows? But this one, I'm ready to depot and destroy and then let go. And I have two more Beauty Bay ones. Again, there's some shadows in these palettes that I might try to take out. First up is the Beauty Bay Berries palette. I got this as a freebie when I purchased some other Beauty Bay palettes. And I just don't ever really wear pinks. Honestly, I would wear this color maybe, and then this one, and that's about it. So to keep this entire palette for just two shadows seems stupid. So I'm gonna let it go. And again, this one is a little bit less hard to let go because I got it for free. So no money spent on that. And then the other one is the Beauty Bay Midnight. I don't know, I just had a thing for, ooh, I want the set of the 9-pan palettes. And honestly, the only one I still regularly use is the earthy one. This is the Midnight one. I'm just not the biggest blue fan. You can see what shadows I have used. This was a Level Up palette also at one point. But honestly, just looking at it now, I would only use these shadows and that one. The rest, I don't feel anything for using the rest. So I might take some out, and then the rest can go keeping this whole palette for just a few is a waste. And then last but not least, I have here a little palette of some Nabla singles. Now these Nabla singles are old. You can see I got good use out of them. I have pan in all of them and I did love them very, very much. But I've discovered that recently the quality is just lessened. Is that a word? They're not as good as they used to be, or as I can remember them being. And I think also my taste in what type of shadows I like really changed. I have some more very shimmery, glittery shimmers that I prefer over this formula, which is just quite satiny shimmers, not very special. That and the quality is just gone down, I think. I feel like that's what's happened. So I'm okay with letting these go. I've got my use out of these. These are old. These are the oldest shadows in my collection currently. I think I got these in like 2017, maybe 16, I don't even know. A long time ago. So I am ready to let them go. And then that concludes it. That's gonna be the palettes that I'm gonna let go. Like I said, some I'm gonna try and depot or take shadows out and repress in different pans to keep them, because there's a few shadows that I do like, but it's not worth keeping an entire palette for just a few shadows in that palette that I like. So if I'm gonna do that, I honestly have no idea when I have the time to do that, but if I do that, I will definitely film it for you guys. And that concludes this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.